There's no way to do an intro for this. We can never do it without something being weird.
Yeah. It's like you start recording and then anyways.
Right.
So, hey guys, unintentional little break from these. Didn't want you guys to worry that we were not doing them anymore, but the holiday season proved to be extremely busy, and then I self-inflicted a lot of other work onto myself starting 2024. But with that said, I hope you guys are having a good start to the new year. Been an interesting one so far. I'm cubing with AI robots, hand delivering packages last year. And yeah, so we have some cool news to cover and stuff with you guys this episode. But yeah, so what do we have first on our, well, I guess, the where we've been. So yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to even think of like where to start. It's been such a blur.
I mean, it's more, I think, just that it was like, we had so much kind of go on at those like the last bits or the last end of the year. And it was kind of like, wow, it took a lot out of us. And it was like, well, the new year, let's, kind of take a moment to step back, reorganize, recuperate, and then kind of get back into it.
Yeah,
like,
well,
you were gone for a bit. I mean, there was a lot of stuff you were doing, and so coordinating things it just took a moment, but I mean, we're back now. We're gonna get back into the swing of things.
And my office window is like on the verge of shattering. So it's also kind of scary to work here because like I sit right next to it, and it's like, it looks like a puzzle piece, and it
really does.
It's really sketchy. It's gotten a lot worse, so we're hoping that can get resolved soon because I don't really want to be working and have like a huge shard of glass about like this big. And
especially it's been like really windy lately too, and the weather's been kind of hectic.
Yeah, so. Vegas weather is. I like it overall. The heat is definitely an issue, but like it's kind of coming from Bakersfield. It's super similar, but the wind is not my favorite. I will admit, but everything else here makes up for it. So
yeah.
But yeah, like one of the things that I've been doing this year that started late last year and has trickled into this year is just what I can say so far is that we're expanding, and it is taking a lot out of me.
Yeah, quite the toll.
It's scary because like it's never been done before in the cubing industry.
Yeah, new territory.
And it carries a lot of risk, and it's a different kind of investment into the company that I've ever done before because things like inventory and just, I don't know, like inventory and staff and equipment like this, it's all an investment, but there's almost like a guaranteed return to some capacity on it. And this is completely uncharted territory, and it's scary.
Mean, you also get to you have the one location, and you have all of your employees here, and you can just check in real easily with, another location. That's another place to have to check on, too.
I didn't say anything about a location. So anyways, yeah, it's a lot of work, but more details to come soon on that. We're in the final stages now, so I'm hoping to do we have a little docu series that's being filmed. So hopefully you guys can get kind of an inside look firsthand to what I'm up to and how it all goes. Yeah. Unexpectedly, well, I should say expectedly, Moyu already hit us with a new 3x3.
Yeah.
Kind of saw that one coming.
I mean, honestly, it took longer than I thought.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, that we won't even talk about that much. It's a 20 magnet
I
ball
feel like
cord.
we bring it up every time, the frequency of Moyu puzzles, or at least 3x3s coming out.
Yeah, I don't want to give them the satisfaction. So yeah, there's a new Moyu puzzle. Speaking of the devil, just messaged me. And then 2 new manufacturers, though. That's actually surprising to me, and I sincerely hope they do well because QiYi was a one and done. I don't know what happened to them. Yeah, and then Moretry, right? Are they still doing? Yeah, Moretry is they're still around, but they had some production issues and mold issues for a while. I think the mold broke, and that just kind of sealed their fate in a way because they had good momentum, and then I mean the cubes weren't bad. They were relatively good cubes. I know Ari uses one of the Moretry cubes.
cubes, and but like it's exciting to see like I guess new people, new companies kind of enter the market because that just means new designs, new innovations, new takes on things, which is something like exciting to look forward to, especially with Moyu releasing a cube every day essentially. So it's nice to see something new.
Yeah, what's kind of interesting is this is based on Cameron memory, not historical facts.
Right.
But Cameron memory tells me that pretty much the main 5, I think it is. So yeah, YJ, Yushin, QiYi, Moyu, Gan.
Right.
Were all sort of formed at around the same-ish time. Like they all kind of grew together.
Right.
So it's kind of hard for these new guys to like jump in and like really get a decent market share as far as cubing stuff goes.
And I would think it would probably be easier in that time because there weren't so many things. Like there wasn't dual adjustment, there wasn't adjustable magnets and stuff. It was like it was in today's terms relatively simplistic cubes.
Yeah, I'm kind of almost forecasting that we're going to see a bit of like a relapse. Like, they say like history like repeats itself.
Yeah.
Like at one point, like Moyu was doing like the Oolong GT in a bunch of different colors, and they had different ways to appeal to people. And I sort of feel like that at some point in the near future, we're going to see cubes kind of not really focusing on new technology and more so focus on different ways to appeal to people, whether that be through different forms of customization, like that Qimeng V3 with the tiles. I like that.
I was thinking the QiYi clocks.
Oh yeah, the QiYi clocks.
Yeah, those. If you haven't seen, QiYi is putting up like a survey. They have a bunch of pictures of potential like clock, like different colors that you can choose. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. I personally am partial to the kind of like earthy green tones.
Yeah, that one's cool. Yeah. I'm just chuckling to myself. I'm like, they'll just release them all, and then we have to stock them all. And I really hope that doesn't happen, but they won't. I hope. But so we have from new manufacturers, Haitun. Yeah. Probably not saying that right. Someone feel free to correct me.
Right.
That's interesting because they are starting off with a 3x3, which I get it. You kind of have to.
I mean, it's like a classic thing, but like in my opinion, it's already a very saturated market for 3x3s.
Yeah.
However, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. It's oversaturation, but there's also like if you start with like a different cube, it's like not as many people are into that event. The more you stray away from 3x3, but I mean, it looks interesting. I mean, there's a bunch of pictures that they have for it. The adjustment system. There's a lot of settings there. Magnets are adjustable. A bunch of weird terms.
I mean, I was going to say, I'll just pull up the listing. Yeah, we have. Yeah. So, wow. Okay, and the magnets. So they have adjustable magnets in the edges. The compression system looks. No, I mean, you have a little arrow there. It reminds me of like the Diane Tangyun system. The adjustment key is like straight up Kingdom Hearts Keyblade vibes.
Yeah. But my thing is like, how legible is this going to be on a small cube? You have 8 settings that you have to go through.
I'm not worried about that. It says up to 384 feels for you to choose, which is appropriate because they have a heart shaped, a heart design pattern piece design, which totally substantiates what I said a few episodes ago, that I do not believe that there is like engineering behind the patterns that they throw on these piece designs. Like, I'm still not convinced that these like honeycomb designs, dragon scale, tortoiseshell. I mean, I don't know that I'd be curious to know if there's actual like R&D behind like, we're going to use a dragon scale piece design on this cube because it actually makes a difference over a honeycomb or something like that. Maybe Gan had something with that honeycomb. Yeah. And I think once that happened and people couldn't just straight up use honeycomb, they're just like,
I mean, there's what, like there was like turtle shell, dragon scale.
Well, okay, so if the heart one doesn't substantiate the smiley face design on the Qimeng V3, when I saw the smiley face, I'm like, okay, this there's no way. So I'm wondering what the next design is going to be. Maybe I can get like my face put onto one of them or something.
Dude, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. I could distribute the lube well on pieces, maybe. Kind of sounds weird. But okay, so we have the Haitun Cube and the Vin 4x4, which is older news at this point, but still worth mentioning. Right. Really interesting because I like the fact that they hit the market with the 4x4. Like, I kind of think that some of these new manufacturers, if they hit with like a really good 5x5 or Pira or Square One, something like that's different and needs improvement, that could be a good way to get publicity and then like build some brand rep, and then they can go around and do different cubes.
Well, part of it is that it's got to be a pretty solid release because, like, kind of as I was mentioning earlier, if you come out with a kind of like relatively like mediocre 4x4, 5x5, that may hurt the kind of credibility that you're trying to develop as a new company. But if you really hit it out of the park with a solid 4x4, a solid Pyraminx, people are going to really respect that, and you're not entering the oversaturated 3x3 market right away.
Yeah, well, the Vin 4x4 is weird because it's from the designer, the MGC Cube designer. Now, I've had my hands more than full, so I haven't really dug into the story, but I'm not clear if the MGC designer has left YJ and the MGC line is going to be like passed on to another designer or just killed off, which I can't imagine that's going to be the case, or if it's just like doing a solo venture. But what's interesting is that it's like very similar to the MGC 4x4, but refined a bit.
Yeah.
The one I tried was really nice. Yeah. I definitely like it more than the MGC 4x4. It feels more stable to me. Yeah. But
I think it seems to me that it has stronger magnets. That's kind of like my guess, but it's also, the tensions are definitely looser, so it could just seem like the magnets are stronger. But
what kind of sucks is that there's apparently a 5% defect rate in the entire first run. So I was told that they're destroying everything that's left and just remaking them all. The ones that we have, they suggested that we go through every single one and check them, and I'm like,
I mean, we got a fair amount of them.
I'm like, I'm not doing that for two reasons. One, I'm not going to open up several hundred 4x4s one by one and quality test them. And the bigger reason is that we sell new items, and like, that's what I mean is like, not everyone understands, like, I can't just sell a new cube, but it's been like used unless it's been serviced. So I guess if you order one from us and you have an issue, like hit us up and we'll take care of it. But curious to see how that ends up shaking out. I mean, at least a lot of the new releases this year are cool. Like, what are some of your favorites?
I'd say probably the two that I'm like the biggest fan of is the QiYi Pro 4x4 that came out, and the X-Men Hong 5x5.
Oh, yeah.
The 5x5, a lot of people are really excited for. It finally completes the 2 through 7 line for the X-Men series. So, I mean, it took a while. Right. But, I mean, the 5x5 is really good, in my opinion. I would say, to me, best 5x5 there is. I don't think it really gets much better, at least as of now. When it comes to the QiYi Pro 4x4, and, both come from QiYi, the X-Men 5x5 and the QiYi Pro 4x4, it's really good. Like, me and one of our other employees, Sam, we were trying it out, and it kind of feels like a smaller Aosu that's a little bit more refined. Feels like a corner cut's a little bit better, performance is pretty good. I will say, if we're keeping up with the trend of adding a ball core to like these bigger cubes, I definitely think that would be beneficial for this 4x4. There's 3x3 and 2x2 already have a ball core.
The fact that we have a ball core 8x8 and 9x9 now, I did not see that coming. Yeah. I mean, seems a little unnecessary, honestly, but like it's one of those things where like when you have the option, I would do it. Yeah. I would do it. Yeah. I mean, for the extra few bucks. But yeah, the UV coating is nice on the X-Men 5x5. Yeah. I just get worried because UV coating used to be a big issue at one point. And obviously, as time goes on, the manufacturers figure it out, they work out the kinks. But yeah, I just hope that we don't have a repeat and see limited production because of the UV coating. Right. I can almost guarantee you that they're going to release a frosted version later in the future.
Especially, like, I don't know what the price is off the top of my head, but
$49.95.
Not bad for being like relatively the best like 5x5 in my opinion, but I'd say maybe $10 cheaper, more.
No, it's usually about a $5 increment difference from UV coating. Okay. But yeah, I mean, my favorites so far since you asked,
Yeah. Well, I figured you would go next. So.
I really like the big Pyraminx.
Oh yeah, staff favorite right there.
Yeah, the big Pyraminx. And the big 2x2 are my two favorites. Yeah. That big Pyraminx, see, that's what I mean. Like, she just has good, it's different. Yeah. And, like, I think a big Scube would be cool to do next. Yeah. Big Megaminx. And I'm really excited, I always mix them up. I want to say MS Cube is coming out with a tiny 5x5. It's like the size of a 3x3. Yeah. I'm liking where we're going this year with like small and big cubes.
Comically large, comically small. Like, I think that's definitely like the right way to go, especially now where it's kind of like all the like kind of WCA stuff is relatively like pretty good. It's at a good spot to where we can kind of stray away from that. Yeah. Kind of do something else. And I think having those like, even if it is just a size change as opposed to, you know, making a unique puzzle, like I think that's cool. I think a small 5x5, it's funny. It's like this cute little thing that you can put on your desk. You show other people.
What's weird about it is that back in the day, like mini cubes and big cubes were terrible.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know why they use a different mech than like, it just makes sense to take an existing mechanism and just shrink it or expand it. Right. And I mean, I guess that to some extent there might be some manufacturing like limitations here or there because of size, I guess. But like, I don't know. It makes sense though. I'm really excited about that. But I guess kind of a final thought, and I've tossed around addressing the whole JPERM thing for a long time, but I've spoken with Dylan, and it's just not really my place to sort of disclose what he's doing and what his situation is.
Right.
Funny enough, he actually did release a video covering like that Rubik's Trainer Cube.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would just say, you know, for all the people in the comments asking where JPERM is, keep commenting for the engagement. I mean, go for it.
Right.
But yeah, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe while you're at it. But what I will say about it is that burnout is a real thing, and I'm in a different position where, for me, I face burnout quite often, but I don't really see myself as having like a choice, because as a YouTube creator, you can kind of have like evergreen content and stuff that kind of continues to generate you income. But for me, I sort of feel like if I stop working just because I'm burnt out, then things will kind of come to a halt relatively soon.
It's a little bit of a different like responsibility as more of like a business as opposed to you know, just being that kind of social media creator. Because like you do the social media side of things too, but you also have a business which both kind of directly affect each other. You know, the better you make the videos or the more frequently, the better it is for the business. And
in my opinion, once a YouTuber takes a break that's like longer than a weekend, it's almost certainly the start of their I don't want to say downfall, but like
decline, I guess.
It's like almost always the start of their it becomes a trend. Like you take one break, then you take another break, or just, you know, in Dylan's case, like when he was here visiting us last time, I knew that he was pretty burnt out. He had been traveling a lot personally and doing other stuff, but it just kind of seemed like, you know, he seemed definitely like he needed a break, and then, you know, his 1 week break turned into 2, turned into 3, turned into 4 weeks, and then here we are now. So point being, you know, it is what it is, and he makes great content, and just keep supporting him in the comments and stuff, and you know, I'm sure that he'll be back to making a regular upload schedule at some point, but if he doesn't, then yeah, that's fine too.
Yeah. If you want to keep commenting, you know.
Yeah, go ahead and keep commenting and asking where he is. I mean, most people probably won't get to the end anyway. Right. But I mean, yeah, this is already like a 20-minute long video. So I think that's a good spot to end. Again, I want to keep making these for you guys. It just is kind of a bummer that it's been making up a lot of our long forms. Not intentional. It's just been really tough to kind of juggle other long form content. Yeah, we have a lot more reviews and stuff coming out soon. It's just a lot of restructuring right now. I need to get caught up on the cube scores, and there's just so much to do. There's always a million things to do, and
and it's like a like I said earlier, like a double-edged sword, where it's like we get the start of the new year, and this year it's like we got a bunch of new cubes, so we can make content on that. However, it's a lot of new cubes to make content on.
Yeah, and that's what's really tough, is just the rate that you just get like slammed with them is just rough. But we might have a special guest on the next AWIC, so be on the lookout for that. And yeah, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Comment, like, subscribe, and ask us where JPERM is.
Yep.
All right, bye.
All right. Take care.